This week on The Real Deal, we're going to talk about settlement times. Now, I got sent an email this week, and the email was, how long is a typical settlement in Brisbane? Now, there's an assumption that it's 30 days. Now, let's talk about your average contract which comes in. First of all, you've got 5 days to cool off under a standard Queensland Law Society contract. Normally, you have 14 to 21 days finance. And then, of course, you also in that time frame have your pest and building. Normally 7 to 10 days is about average. So if you go unconditional on day 21 after signing the contract, effectively, you've got 9 days, if you're the owner, to find a house and settle, if it's going to be 30 days. It's just completely and utterly unrealistic unless you've got an open house sitting there waiting for you and you're desperate to get out. Even packing in 9 days is crazy. So the 30-day thing just doesn't work for the average seller, all right? A lot of agents draw up the contracts, and a lot of agents do this because ultimately, payday, yes, we get paid. Remember, we work for free until we get paid. So when it comes to selling, you've got to look at your situation and what works for you. If you're looking at buying, when you make your offer, you've also got to say what sort of settlement terms I'll be able to negotiate here, because it has to be a win-win. Remember that. It's not just about the agent getting paid. Of course, we're important and we do need to eat and we are doing all the work, but ultimately it has to work for the seller and it has to work for the buyer, and all of these things are up for negotiation. What we're recommending at the moment in the current market, because there's such a shortage of stock, is that our sellers are going on the market and they're insisting on 90 days to settle unless they can rent it back for a couple of months, all right? Now, a lot of current buyers that are entering their first homes are in a lease, so that they also need to find someone to take over their rental so that they can break the lease. So in an ideal world, it would all work together, but of course we're not in an ideal world, and we try and get it as close to those dates as possible. Remember that it does take time for these things to happen. There can also be delays with settlement dates, banks, things getting lost along the way. So I would recommend that when you're thinking of listing your house, you talk to the agent, you tell the agent exactly what you want. You can be non-negotiable on this if you are a seller in the current market, and we are having some success with recommending 90-day settlements and giving people the confidence to go on the market without fear of not purchasing a house. And on the other end, we're also recommending that if someone is keen to find something, that they engage the services of a buyer's agent so that they can jump the queue as well. So those are 2 tips in one on today's edition of The Real Deal. Have a great weekend, and I hope to see you around the tracks.